Deuteronomy Chapter 24. When a man hath taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he hath found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. And if the latter husband hate her, and write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and sendeth her out of his house, or if a latter husband die, which took her to be his wife, her former husband which sent her away may not take her again to be his wife, after that she is defiled. For this is an abomination before the Lord. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance. I'm going to add a little something here. There are some people, some men, who marry women, and because they're jealous of something that the woman brings to the situation, or just because they're damaged men and they haven't taken the time to heal, instead of divorcing the woman, they will stay there and make the woman miserable. They will refuse to divorce the woman. They will stay in the house with them and not talk to them. Stay in the house with them and not interact with them. That's a cowardly and an evil thing to do to a person. And you'll see this woman go from being what people would call an 8 or a 9 on the scale of 1 to 10 to a blob. I'm speaking from experience. And people will look and be like, what's going on with her? There are some people who will do you bad because they're too much of a coward to admit defeat, or there's an evil spirit in them. The situation is actually more of a test than a relationship. And then it's bad to do somebody like that. And they would rather mistreat the wife, abuse the wife, and hope that she step out on them so they can play the victim rather than being a man and just, this ain't working, da 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 da. Some of them can't believe somebody will deal with them for as long as they do because they don't even like themselves. But I digress. Chapter 24, verse 5. When a man hath taken a new wife, he shall not go out to war, neither shall he be charged with any business, but he shall be free at home 1 year, and shall cheer up his wife which he hath taken. No man shall take thee neither or the upper milestone to pledge, for he taketh a man's life to pledge. If a man be found stealing any of his brethren of the children of Israel, and maketh merchandise of them, selling people, a lot of people doing the sex trade thing, sex slave thing. They stealing folks, children and men and women. Nowadays ain't nobody say, and they're selling them. So when they say making merchandise of them, that's just saying, okay, maketh merchandise of him, or selleth him, then that thief shall die, and thou shalt put evil away from among you. See, they didn't give it time. They didn't give sin time to fester in the Old Testament. You got put down, you know what I'm saying? But thank God for Jesus, because the people who did those things, whether it's because that's what they were taught, that's what they saw, that was hard, whatever, when Christ came and shed his blood, if you got caught doing some of these things that used to get you cut down right in the middle of the action, because of Christ, you had another chance. And even before he shed his blood, because remember the woman got caught, I almost said it in a worldly way, got caught with another man, and Jesus said, let he who have not sinned cast the first stone. Before even he shed his blood, his words was enough to convict people. Hey, don't play like you all that, because I know you. You know what I'm saying? Just like he knew that woman at the well. He knew all her business. He knew it, but he wasn't coming to condemn folks. He was coming to help the folks that was gonna be condemned, the lost people. You know what I'm saying? The ones that's all perfect and was raised well and knew and did everything right. Y'all wasn't in need of a savior in y'all mind. It's those people that was like me, cause I was the type of woman play with me, act like you don't want me. You know what I'm saying? That's because that's all I've ever known is being treated like I wasn't nothing. So I played the part of okay. Very well. I thank God that I don't move like that no more. But anyway, verse 8. Take heed in the pledge of leprosy that thou observe diligently and do according to all the priests the Leviticus shall teach you, as I command them, so you shall observe to do. Remember what the Lord thy God did unto Miriam by the way after that ye were come forth out of Egypt. Remember, Miriam was talking smack, and God cursed her with leprosy, I think, for 7 days. I gotta watch this. When thou doest lend thy brother anything, thou shalt not go into his house to fetch his pledge. You lend it to him, he gotta bring it to you. You can't go in there. He owe me, I'm just gonna take it. You can't do that. When thou doest lend thy brother anything, thou shalt not go into his house to fetch his pledge. Thou shalt stand abroad, and the man to whom thou doest lend shall bring out the pledge abroad unto thee. And if the man be poor, thou shalt not sleep with his pledge. In any case, thou shalt deliver him the pledge again when the sun goeth down, that he may sleep in his own remnant and bless thee. And it shall be righteousness unto thee before the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not oppress an hired servant that is poor and needy, whether he be of thy brethren or of thy strangers that are in thy land within thy gates. So if somebody poor, don't be trying to run game. Don't be trying to do like the title on places where, oh, we gonna add $10 every time you don't bring it to me. You know, don't be extra. Don't add extra stress to them. That's not loving your neighbor as you love yourself. You know they already having a hard time, and if they came to you and asked you and you were able to do it, obviously you had it. So don't add more burden to them by adding extra to, you know what I'm saying, helping them out. Thou shalt not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy, whether he be of thy brethren or thy strangers that are in thy land within thy gates. And his day, thy servant, and his day thou shalt give him his hire, neither shall the sun go down upon it, for he is poor, and selleth his heart upon it, for he is poor and setteth his heart upon it, lest he cry against thee unto the Lord, and it be a sin unto thee. If y'all agreed that you was gonna give him X amount of dollars when he done said job, don't short him. And don't hold it just because you can, because you have the power to do so. If he did the work, give him the money, send him on his way. The father shall not be put to death for the children, neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin. That's plain and simple. Thou shalt not pervert the judgment of the stranger, nor of the fatherless, nor take a widow's remnant to pledge. These are people who don't have, can't do no better. Don't do what you see a lot of these businesses. A lot of these businesses, the title loan places and the checking the cash places, they're taking advantage. They know that a lot of people gonna make these pledges, gonna put up stuff, and they're gonna lose it, or they're gonna spend many times over because they only able to make the minimum payment. That's not what the children of Israel. That's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be righteous. But thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in Egypt, and the Lord thy God redeemeth thee thence. Therefore I command thee to do this thing. When thou cuttest down thine harvest in the field, and hast forgot a sheaf in the field, thou shalt not go again to fetch it. It shall be for the strangers, for the fatherless, and for the widow, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the work of thy hands. If you got so much that you left a little bit out there, that little bit is kind of like the tithe. That's the tithe, not so the reverend can drive a Jaguar. The tithe is you have so much, God done filled your cup and it done overflow. Leave the overflow for those who don't have. It pains me to think of all the things that all the people that were hard up and the pastor had way more than enough. I'm not talking about any pastor in particular, but I can think of many from when I was younger. I don't know all their business, but it's a few that I know personally. You have more than enough, and there are people in your congregation suffering. But I digress. When thou beatest thine olive tree, thou shalt not go over the brogues again. It shall be for the stranger and for the fatherless, and for the widow. Same thing. Leave some for those who don't have anything. When thou gatherest the grapes of the vineyard, thou shalt not glean it afterward. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in the land of Egypt. Therefore I command thee to do this thing. That's righteousness. Anybody who don't understand what righteousness is, that's righteousness. You have more than enough for you and yours. You take care of your own household. Let me see if I can find that. I'm going to keep talking though. You have more than enough for you and your household. The righteous thing to do is, and a true way to show God that you're thankful. Let me go to the index. I ain't too proud to go to the index. A true way to show God that you're thankful and that you understand. He didn't bless you with all that you got. It's not all just for you. He blesses you to see if you even worthy of the blessing. You know what I'm saying? He reigns on the just as well as the unjust. Some of us run around here thinking we just, but we carry ourselves in a manner that shows that we're not. If you see somebody struggling and you have the ability to help them, to safely help them, not go out there and get yourself done in, but safely help them, and you're not righteous. I'm sorry to tell you, you're not righteous to see somebody who doing bad and you have the ability to help them, but I'm just for me. No, absolutely not. 1 Timothy 5:8. But if any provide not for his own, especially those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. An infidel is an unbeliever. That's 1 Timothy 5:8. You take care of your own first, and then loving your neighbor as you love yourself. If you have extra and you see this woman over here and she got 6 kids, don't talk about, well, she should have shut her legs. Hey, the creator of heaven and earth put them babies in their belly. Yeah, man did his part, but God had to say of whether a child was going to be formed after that act. Make sure you holy as you think you are, because you don't want to be one of the ones that's being told, depart from me, you workers of iniquity. I know you not. Think of all the stuff Christ did after he got through. Sometimes I think it was before he preached, he would feed them so they could hear him better. You could hear the word way better if the stomach ain't growling. And sometimes they followed behind him for a spell, and he would spell for a while. Lord Jesus, sound like an old person. But followed behind him for a while, and he would sit them down and feed them before he sent them off. We supposed to mimic Christ. And when you change, if you were stingy, and then now you can't stand to see somebody go without. With becoming to Christ, it comes a change. I've always been a giver. I used to try to buy friends. I couldn't make friends. People didn't like me because I don't know. I really don't. I was kind. I was a kind person. But if you hurt me or you made me angry, I can I could be, Anyway, thank God for Jesus, and y'all have a blessed day.